Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited for today's video. I always say that, but today I'm especially excited because I have a new eyeshadow palette that came in the mail and I'm dying to try this out. This is the new Anastasia Norvina palette. I'm sure you guys are seeing it all over social media. There's a good reason for it. Anastasia palettes are kind of like iconic in my opinion, like the Modern Renaissance, the Soft Glam are two of my favorite palettes of all time. So every time they launch a palette, I'm always very excited and very hopeful that it's going to be really great quality and it's going to be inspiring and be pretty colors and all that. This palette in particular is a little bit different because it's more cool tone, which I think is kind of awesome. I don't own that many palettes that look like this. This is what the front looks like. Why am I holding it like that? It says Norvina on it. And then on the inside, here are the colors that we've got going on. So obviously you can see, hopefully you can see it better here, but there's a lot of cooler tone colors. There are a couple warm tones in here. So you could potentially make a more everyday warm toned look with this eyeshadow palette, but there are some colors in here that are very inspiring and I'm actually a little bit intimidated by a couple of them. This video is going to be all about this palette. I'm going to be testing it and kind of doing a first impressions with you guys. So here's the final look. This is the before and after. I have no idea what I'm going to make, but you guys will see it right here. You'll see the final look. And so yeah, I'm excited. Let's just get right into it. I've already done my brows off camera. I used, again, I can't get enough of this. I love the MAC Shape and Shade brow tints because if you guys, okay, I don't know how long it's been since I've been on camera. There's a fluff. I don't know how long it's been since I've been on camera without any brow product on, but if you see my brows with no product, like literally I don't have that much hair at all. All of these starting from like here in are all because of this. Like it looks like hairs and this is the best thing that's ever happened to me because if you're like me and you don't have that many natural brow hairs, it is really difficult with other products sometimes to create that hair-like look without looking too like blocky or I don't know. It's just been complicated for me, but this makes it so easy. So I've been obsessed with that. So that's all I have on my brows right now. I'm gonna go ahead and use, let's see, I don't really want to use too many concealers for this video. So let's go into my Maybelline Fit Me concealer and use this as an eyeshadow base. Let's just put a little bit on the eyelid. The one I'm gonna use for the base on my eyelid is in the shade Fair. I'm gonna blend that out with my beauty blender. We're just going to kind of cancel out any redness or veins with this concealer. I'm going to take my Rimmel Stay Matte Translucent Powder that I love so much. I'm going to use that to kind of set the concealer just to make sure it doesn't budge at all. Oh my gosh, you guys, thank you so much for all of your sweet comments when I talked about my skincare journey in, I think it was my latest video, right? I'm pretty sure it all kind of blurs together, but you guys are so sweet and so supportive and I really appreciate it. You have no idea. I actually did go to my very first esthetician appointment, actually two. The first one was kind of like a consultation and then yesterday I did go and get my very first facial, which was very different and kind of relaxing. She kind of did like an introductory facial for me since I had never had anything done like that before. So she used a really low setting on all the tools and devices that she used on my skin just to kind of see how I react to it and it all went well, so I have another appointment scheduled in a couple of weeks, but I'm really hopeful, I'm really excited. Obviously this is going to be a process and I'm excited to keep you guys posted on how everything is going. If it does work out for me, I'll be making a video about like my skincare journey and my skincare routine and all that. I'm kind of like in the middle of it, you know? So I want to keep you guys posted in like my normal videos, but then of course, once I figure it all out, hopefully, then I'll be making a more like in-depth video on it. But anyways, that's where I am. And I'm so grateful for you guys for being so sweet and for giving me so much advice and just being there for me and making me feel less alone. I know you guys like can relate to me in one way or another when it comes to skin issues. A lot of you did at least, and it made me feel really awesome. So thanks again for that. All right, now it's time to go into the Norvina palette and I'm not sure what I should do. Okay, I'm gonna start off with this shade right here called Base. And I'm going to use that all over the lid lightly as a base. Alright, I'm going to go into this shade right here called Love. And I'm just using the brush that comes in the palette right now. I don't want too much pigment on the brush initially because I really want this pink to be really subtle because I really want to go into some of the other shades. And I don't want this to be like the main focal point of the eye makeup look, at least right now. I don't really know what's gonna happen, but we're just gonna wing it. So I'm just going back and forth, kind of moving in circular motions as well, buffing it out toward the end of the brow and then bringing it all the way into this inner corner here, just for a nice wash of color. So I don't know if I'm crazy, but I feel like there's a lot of fallout or kickback in this pink shade. I'm pretty familiar with Anastasia palettes, and I don't know if Soft Glam has as much kickback as this palette has had so far. I don't really know. It could just be me, but yeah, I feel like there's a little bit more. Obviously, it still blends out really nicely, as you can see. Oh, it's hot in here. I need to text my husband. Maybe I'll call him. It gets so hot under these lights, I start like sweating.
Danny?
Tiny, it's so hot. Can you turn the air on?
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. Wonderful. Hopefully that cools this room down a little bit. It has been so hot this summer. Is it just me, or is it so hot where you live too? Because it's almost like unbearable in some places and on some days. It's crazy. All right, I'm kind of nervous to do this because I don't know what color it's gonna make. All right, there's a lot of fallout on that, but I definitely want to use this color right here. It's called Soul, and it's just so different. I want to use it, but I'm hoping that the color mixed with the pink shade we just used isn't gonna turn like super gross looking. Let's try it out. Let's give it a whirl. I'm gonna start kind of lower. Does it turn brown? What does it do? I'm just trying to kind of test the waters here, see what those colors look like mixed. Not bad. So I'm just really lightly kind of dusting this through the crease. Oh, that's nice. Oh, I feel like a little fairy already. Okay. I'm kind of keeping it low though because I don't want it to look too muddy up high. In fact, I might have gone a little bit higher than I originally had planned on this eye, so I'm just trying to keep it low so it defines the crease a little bit, but so that the pink is still the transition shade. That's what I'm going for at least. Oh, wow. You know what I appreciate about palettes like this though, is it really like pushes me personally out of my comfort zone because I don't own that many super colorful palettes. I get mostly inspired by neutral colors or whatever, and so when I get a palette that like forces me to use different colors, I feel like it's actually really beneficial for me to kind of try new things, you know? Like this is looking very different than anything I would normally do, and that kind of allows me to be more creative. I'm just making sure to really blend this out. Not too worried about how far it's going here because as always we can clean up the edges later. I'm gonna dip back into the pink shade called Love, buff a little bit more pink above the purple on the edge here. Okay, I kind of have an idea for what I want to do on the lids. Okay, let's see how it goes. I'm gonna go in with this shade right here called Dreamer. Oh my word, I just pressed way too hard in the pan. It like almost ruined it. Okay, I'm gonna take Dreamer and kind of start to apply this on this very inner like third of the eye. I might wet my brush for this because I really want it to look like super, aha. Oh wow, okay. I need a mirror. Well, that made a difference. Okay, so I'm just gonna start to kind of carve out this inner third. Okay, same thing on the other eye. I'm just spraying some Fix Plus. I finally picked this up at Ulta like 3 days ago. I've already used quite a bit of it. I've been enjoying it. It's like such a it's such a famous product and I just hadn't used it before, so. Okay, we're gonna kind of mimic the same thing on this eye. Do you see how messy my palette's getting? There's quite a bit of fallout in this. Obviously, I'm creating a cool look with it so far, I think, so. I don't know, I'm gonna keep trying to make it work. I'm gonna go into this shade right here called Wild Child, which is like a nice pink shimmer. I just want to take a little bit of this. I'm going to wet this shade as well. And my idea was kind of to create like a shimmer ombre going across. So I'm just kind of connecting the pink to that gold that we applied. All right, now I'm going to go into this shade right here called Celestial. I'm just using the same brush. I have a paper towel that I've been kind of wiping it off on. And I did not re-wet the brush with this, although I might. So I didn't actually wet the brush, and it definitely wasn't as intense, but as I went towards the outer corner, I don't mind it being less shimmery, just to kind of keep that effect that I want going. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna hop back into Soul right here, and I really kind of want that to be the main outer corner color. We might deepen it up with something else in a minute, but I'm really liking how that looks on the outer edge. I'm gonna go into this shade right here. This is called Volatile, and I am actually gonna kind of deepen the very outer edge up with this. I'm taking Wild Child, which is that really pretty pink shade, and I'm just adding this with my finger back to kind of like the center of the lid. And I feel like that adds definitely some more shimmer when you use your finger. I feel like that's how Anastasia shimmers usually are. I prefer them with a wet brush or with my finger. Just gonna take that same brush that we were just using with a little bit of that periwinkle shade and just kind of make sure it's all blended. Well, I'm really liking how this is looking so far. It's obviously, oh no, where are my makeup wipes? Uh-oh, am I out? I need to find my makeup wipes. I have one left. Lucky day. So I think that this is what I want so far. I'm gonna add more definition to the lash line, but let's kind of clean up the shape first. So there's quite a bit of fallout under my eyes, but again, I feel like that's with most of my eyeshadows from Anastasia. If you guys own any of their palettes, you'll know what I'm talking about. But I'm just gonna really quickly clean up the edges here. Ooh, okay. I'm really liking how this is turning out, you guys. Okay, I think I'm gonna try going in with a purple eyeliner. This one's from Urban Decay. It's their 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencil in the shade Vice. And I really just think I want something different along the lash line than what I usually do. So this is a shimmery purple. Let's kind of see what that does. I'm gonna go from inner corner to outer corner. So I'm just kind of following along the edge that we made with the makeup wipe, and I'm creating a little bit of a wing. So now I'm going to take Drama, which is this really pretty purple shimmer right here. And I'm just going to take an angled brush and kind of apply this shadow right over top of where we just put the eyeliner. And that's going to not only set the eyeliner, but it'll kind of soften it, and also I find that it makes it last longer as well. So there's that. Let's go in with mascara. I'm going to use the Essence Volume Stylist 18-Hour Lash Extension Mascara. I used to do this all the time, like put my mascara on the top lashes before going in with other products. And it's been a while since I've done it, but for some reason I just really like doing this recently, especially when I do looks like this, because it gives me more confidence in the direction that I'm going. Alright, so our mascara is on. I really like this eye makeup so far because it's different and it's like glam, but it's not too in your face, you know? Like if I went out in public like this, I wouldn't feel like it's too much, you know? I don't know if that makes sense. But let's move on to Complexion. Okay, I have the, ooh, yes. I'm really wanting to use this again. It's been a minute. I'm going to use the Physicians Formula Spotlight Illuminating Primer. I'm going to focus this on the outer parts of the face. So I'm really kind of actually focusing it almost where I would apply highlight. And then I'm taking whatever's left and kind of putting it everywhere else. But I want most of the glow on the high points of my face. Then I'm going to take the Maybelline Master Blur Stick. This is the tinted one in the shade Light to Medium. And I really want to kind of smooth out the center of the face with this. So I'm just kind of running it on my nose and in the T-zone because that's where I have the most pores. I'm just kind of wanting the complexion to look like ethereal airbrushed, okay? That's the goal. I don't know. I'm kind of wanting to look a little bit more full coverage today. I don't know. That's just what I'm feeling. So I'm going to be using actually the Maybelline Superstay 24-Hour Foundation. And I recently saw on Melissa Alatore's, I think it was her Instagram, YouTube, I don't know. She's been really loving the Urban Decay Drop Shot Mix-In Oil, and this is something that you're supposed to mix in with your foundations, and it kind of changes the texture to something more dewy. And she mentioned this combo. I have this lying around. I have yet to try it, and when I heard about that combo, I was like, okay, let's give it a whirl. So I'm gonna go ahead and pump one pump on the back of my hand of this foundation. This is in the shade 112 Natural Ivory, and then here is the Drop Shot. I don't really know how much to do. I'm assuming maybe just one drop. Oh, I just did one drop. Okay, made a mess. Can you guys see that? Okay, I'm gonna just mix these together on my hand. Oh, wow. It really thinned it out. If you guys know the Maybelline foundation that I'm using, you'll know that it's kind of like a whipped formula, and this really kind of, I don't know, changed the texture slightly. So I'm making a mess. Okay, I need my foundation brush. Here it is. Can't stop using this one from Tarte. I'm just gonna take what's left on the back of my hand. I mean, not what's left, but just a little bit to get it on the brush. And let's just start to smooth this over the skin. Ooh, I feel like that oil made this apply even smoother than it does already. And the best part is, even though I feel like it kind of thinned out the formula, I don't feel like I've lost that much coverage. Does that make sense? So after I have kind of like an initial first layer, I take whatever's left on my hand and just kind of start to work that over areas that I want more coverage, which is usually along the jawline. That's where I have the most discoloration and blemishes. And we cannot forget to blend it down the neck. And now I take like what's really left on the back of my hand on my beauty blender, and I like to press this into the skin just to kind of make the finish more natural. I love the coverage that brushes give. That's why you'll usually see me do both. I'll use a brush first to kind of get the coverage, and then I love the finish of a sponge, so I will press down whatever I laid down with the brush with my sponge. I think that looks really nice. Obviously it's not flawless, but instead of adding more foundation, which can kind of make you look cakey, I'm gonna add some concealer to my blemishes. So I'm going to take the shade Light. This is the Maybelline Fit Me concealer, by the way. I used the fair shade earlier to prep the eyes. And I love this concealer because it's a little bit more of a thinned out formula, so it looks super natural. The finish of this concealer is beautiful. I'm just taking the sponge that we used with the foundation and I'm just kind of patting that over the blemishes. So now I'm going to take that same shade, Light, and just kind of do a couple stripes under my eyes. But I'm also going to layer on the shade Fair. I always like to have a few shades of concealer, or at least two in my favorite formula. One that's going to be a little bit lighter and brightening, and one that matches my skin tone exactly. That way I can use it for highlighting, and then I can use the one that matches my skin tone for blemishes and anything like that. And then I can mix the two for a custom color. I just really like doing that. I'm also taking the fair shade down the center of the face because I do want to kind of highlight the center of the face using this. Put on the cupid's bow and a little on the chin. There's a blemish here though, so I'm not gonna, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Hopefully it doesn't highlight it too much. And let's go ahead and blend out the under eye area first with the sponge. Then I'm gonna blend out the concealer in the center of the face. I love the natural finish of that concealer. It's so nice. I'm actually gonna take a tiny bit more of the fair shade. And even though you can't really tell on camera, there's a little bit of discoloration left right here in like the hollows. And just because we're using purple, I really wanna make sure the under eye area is nice and bright, so I'm just adding a little bit more there. So now I'm going to take some Laura Mercier translucent powder, and I'm actually going to dip the beauty blender into this just a little bit, and I'm going to lightly bake the under eye area with this. I'm not using too much powder. I'm using enough, but not like too much to where it feels super tight or looks really dry under the eyes. And then I'm just taking the rest of the powder in the lid and just putting that all over my face to set it. All right, let's hop back into the Norvina palette. I'm just going to kind of do the same type of thing I was doing on the top lid. Starting off with this shade right here called Love. Tapping off the extra so that we don't get any fallout down on the eyes. That went everywhere. That shade is like super dusty, but it's still really pigmented at the same time, so I'm just working with it. But I'm just going to run this across the entire lash line, and I'm buffing it down pretty low because I really want this to be like an ethereal, super smoked out, but soft eye look. So I'm really not afraid to buff it down pretty low. And I'm also connecting it kind of underneath the wing there, just so everything blends together nicely. So now I'm going into Soul, which is that lavender shade, and I'm just kind of buffing this along the lower lash line on like the inner half, I would say. So next I'm going to go into Celestial, which is that beautiful purple shimmer shade we were using, and I'm kind of working like from the outer corner inward, I guess, and I'm just adding that shimmer shade right there. And then we're going to go into the pink shimmer that we used on like the center of the eyelid. It's called Wild Child, and I'm just going to pop this on like the center of the lower lash line. And then last but not least, I'm going to pick up the gold shade that we have on like the whole inner half. That's called Dreamer, and I'm going to see how this is going to work. Dragging it from like pretty much the inner corner of the eye inward to meet that pink shade right here. I'm also bringing some like into the actual inner corner. I might layer another color on that inner corner in a minute, but there's that. I'm just taking what's left on the brush that we used with the pink shade, and is this what we used? Yeah, we used this on the top lid at least, and I'm just kind of buffing the edges underneath all these colors. Okay, I'm adding actually a little bit more of that pink shade to the brush and just dusting everything underneath those shadows. I'm going to take this pencil from Urban Decay. It's in the shade Heartless, and it's like something that's not going to be very noticeable unless you are really close up, but it's just like a really subtle iridescent lilac. Can you see it? I'm putting this in the waterline. And then let's add mascara to the bottom lashes. That will really help kind of pull the whole look together. I'm taking my brush that I used for translucent powder and just dusting away any fallout. There was a little bit of fallout again under the eyes, so I'm just trying to get rid of that. All right, we're on the home stretch now. Let's go ahead and bronze the skin. I'm going to use the Maybelline Master Bronze and Highlight Kit. And I've been liking to kind of mix these two shades here. And I always like kind of press the bronzer on the skin before going in and buffing, just to get the general shape I want, and then to also make sure that it doesn't like wipe away the foundation underneath. I'm also taking it along the forehead and blending it into the hairline. I'm going to take it along the jawline and down the neck as well. Taking what's left on the brush and running it on the sides of the nose and a little bit underneath. and then under the lip. I feel like I would usually do more bronzer than this, but for some reason I'm kind of into like the soft complexion with this eye look. So I think right now we're gonna stop and leave it at that, but you never know with me though, I'm probably gonna add more later. But for now, let's keep it at this. I'm gonna use the Neutrogena Healthy Skin Blush in the shade 10. This is just a really soft pinky peach, and it has a little bit of a shimmer to it, which I think will go nicely with this look. I just want things to be nice and glowy, so I'm gonna take a little bit of that on a blush brush and just carefully press that onto the cheeks. I'm taking it back and a little bit higher than normal because I feel like that makes it more romantic. I don't know. Like, I feel like the placement of your blush can really kind of change the emotion of your face. I don't know. Is it just me? That's at least how I feel. So with this, I'm kind of taking it higher than I would normally to look really nice and flushed. And then I'm going to take some across the nose and a little bit along the hairline as well. Just whatever's left on the brush so it's not too crazy pink. I'll put some on the chin as well. Okay, for highlight, I really wanted to use the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector in the shade Vanilla Quartz. I love this because it kind of has a little bit of a pink shift, and it's not going to maybe even pick up on camera, but in person in the sunlight it has the slightest pink hue. Doesn't look holographic or unnatural though, which is something that I really like. So I wanted to use this with this look because it's going to pull in the pink tones, but again not look like a holographic stripe on my face. I don't really personally like that look. I don't know. So this is what I like to use if I want that pink undertone. So let's go ahead and apply this. I'm using that Nabla highlighting brush that I showed you guys in my last video. It's so good for highlight. I've got some texture on my cheeks, more than usual because of my facial. She told me that it's gonna start to pull out some of the crap in my face, so I might be breaking out a little bit more for the next couple days. That's not gonna stop me from wearing highlight, okay? Not with this look. I'm gonna add that down the center of the nose. Cupid's bow. I'm also going to use this to highlight my brow bone, just right underneath the arch. And I'll maybe take a tiny bit of it and add it to that inner corner just to really make that pop. Okay, so I'm going to take off the foundation on my lips with that makeup wipe that we were using earlier. And for lips, I don't know. I grabbed a couple. I kind of like this gloss. So what if... Okay, I've been kind of testing out some lip liners. I think I'm gonna try this. The lip color can really like change the look, so it might take me a couple to figure out what I want. Hopefully not, maybe we'll get it right on this first go around. I'm gonna use the Thrive Cosmetics Lip Filler Lip Liner in the shade M, which is like a really light pink. It's a little bit more cool toned. So here's where we'll see if we like it combined with this gloss. I'm going to use the M Cosmetics True Gloss in the shade Ash Rose. This has more purple in it, so I'm hoping that when it combines, that's a little bit less cool toned. I mean, it's still going to be cool toned, but a little less washed out, I guess. I don't think that that's a bad lip combo. I think it matches the eyeshadow very nicely, but I'm gonna take it off. I'm looking for something slightly more warm toned, just so that I don't look washed out. Okay, you know what? Every time I'm like not sure about a lip color, I try out the Moonchild gloss from Kathleen Lights and ColourPop, so I think I might do that. I'm gonna lightly line the lips with the Thrive Cosmetics Lip Filler Liner in the shade Gizlan. I don't know how to pronounce this shade. I'll link it down below. I usually line and fill the lips in, but today I'm just gonna line the outside and a little bit of this outer corner, and then like I'm gonna draw a V shape here. So I'm gonna take that lovely Moonchild gloss and see what happens. Yes! Yes, that's what I wanted. See how it ties in with the pinks around the eye, but doesn't wash me out? That's what I was looking for. Seriously, that gloss goes with everything. I love it. Okay, let's assess the situation. Do I want more bronzer or do I like it soft? I think I like it soft. But I'm gonna take what's left on the brush, just kind of add more along the temples, but I think I like it. And I'm gonna take my blush brush as well, just add a little bit more to the apples of the cheeks. And I feel like I like that. I think we're ready to lock in this look, shall we? I actually haven't used this on camera yet, and it's been a while since I've used it off camera too. It's the Pixi Skin Treats Hydrating Milky Mist. It has hyaluronic acid and black oat in it. I'm gonna use this to smooth my skin, and I'm gonna use it mainly on the outer corners because I feel like it has a little bit of oil in it. So let's go ahead and set the sides of the face. If a little gets on the center, oh well. I just wanted it kind of mainly focused on the outer parts of my face. Got my handy fan. And I love this look so much, I really don't want it to budge. So I'm gonna use the Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray. And then of course, going back into my Rimmel transparent powder, go ahead and lock down the areas in the center of the face that I do not want shiny, but I want glow everywhere else because I like it. I always put a little bit on the corners of the brows in here. For some reason, my brows can get like a little bit glowy right there. I think I'm going to use Benefit 24-Hour Brow Setter instead of Boy Brow from Glossier, just because I want to just kind of keep the look that I have going here and not add any more fibers to it, if that makes sense. Like, I don't think I need any more fullness. So I'm just going to lock them down with this. Okay, well, love this look. Honestly though, I'm so happy with how it turned out. Let's chat about the palette. If you look at the palette right now, it kind of looks like I've been using it for a very long time. Especially this shade right here got a little bit messed up, and this was my very first time using it. So I feel like there was a lot of fallout and it's kind of messy, I guess. But with that being said, I love how the look turned out. I think it's so soft. I think that you can really customize it. I obviously kind of wanted a softer look with this, keep it more ethereal, and I don't know. I just really like how this turned out. So I do like the palette. It's inspiring. It's different than anything that I own. So if you're into these kinds of colors, I think you'll definitely like it. It's definitely not my favorite palette out of all of them. I still think that Soft Glam is #1 and a close second is Modern Renaissance. Those two will always have my heart. This, however, is a very beautiful palette, and I will continue to use this just because I feel like I'm gonna recreate this look over and over again. I love how this looks. And maybe in a future tutorial, I'll use this palette again to kind of show you guys what other looks I could create with this, with some of the warmer tones, creating something that's more everyday. I still feel like this is like daytime appropriate. Like, this could go either way, in my opinion, just because it is so soft and so wearable. Even though the colors are not typically what I wear every day, I really feel like I would be comfortable and confident wearing this out during the daytime. In a nutshell, it was kind of messy, a little bit hard to work with that way, in my opinion, so make sure you do your eyes first, regardless of what look you're doing. Other than that, I do think it was beautiful, and I think the colors are really nice. So I would recommend it to anybody who's interested. Definitely just be aware of the fallout, because that's something that was kind of annoying. So there you have it, you guys. That completes this makeup look. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Comment down below letting me know if you guys would like to see another tutorial using this palette, and if you guys have picked it up, or if you're not going to pick it up, let me know down below if you guys have this or not, so that I can kind of know if I should keep using it in tutorials. If you guys are interested in any of the products I used today, as always, I link them down below, so you can go ahead and check out the description box. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Allie, and I love makeup. I would love to have you on board. You can join the family by hitting the subscribe button. And if you're already a subscriber but you want to be notified every time I post a video, go ahead and click on the bell after you subscribe, and that'll just mean that you'll be notified each time I upload. And I post Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, so you won't want to miss out. And that is it, you guys. Thanks again for watching. As always, thank you for coming back to my channel and for watching my videos. I love you so much, and I just love filming videos for you guys and just sitting here and kind of hanging out. So thanks for coming back and for hanging out with me today, and I will see you all in my next video. Love you. Bye!